Chef Hesh here for Kickazz.com. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. Sous vide chicken with a bacon mushroom cream sauce. If you've noticed, I have an affinity for cream-based sauces. It's just something that I absolutely love. And I also love chicken. So what I've got here is a very, very beautiful chicken breast. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to butterfly it. He's a nice, happy little chicken breast, but I'm going to make him just a little bit bigger. We've done this before. Oh, look at that guy. He's almost heart-shaped. Once I've got him butterflied, super, super simple. Oh, look. Just give him a nice little splash. Why am I doing this? Because I'm going to beat the crap out of this thing with this hammer here. I don't want it to rip or tear. I just want to make it nice and even. It's pretty much even as it is, but I want it a little bit thinner. It cooks a little bit quicker. Sous vide, essentially what you do is you place it in a water bath and maintain an even temperature, and you cook it to that temperature and no higher. Pull it out. I'm going to reverse sear it on a cast iron grill pan so I get some nice color, some extra flavor to it, and pour my sauce on it and call it a day. Super simple. After I've got my oil on there, I'm using, coming soon, Kickazz Spice Blend. This is a spice blend of Lynn and I's own creation, and it's got pretty much everything you need. Oh man, so good. I've also used it to create a compound butter. If you don't know what a compound butter is, let me know in the comments below, and I'll explain it. Essentially, it's a flavored butter. It's going to, when we saute these mushrooms and these peppers in that compound butter, layers upon layers of flavor. So I'm just going to take a decent little pinch of my spice blend. Just doing one side for now. That's all we need. Plastic wrap is your friend here. I mean, this stuff is the devil, you know. You can never get it off the roll right, and it always bunches up and this and that. But you can see I'm not wearing my apron. I don't want to get chicken guts all over my Kickazz shirt here. So now we just beat the shit out of it. The goal here is to let out some tension and make it nice and even. One side, my cut wasn't exactly perfect, so I have to focus on that side a little bit. And kind of like hit it to the side, not just like wham, wham, straight down. We're also tenderizing. I mean, I'm not using the little spiky side. Well, for obvious reasons, I don't want to tear this up. And there we have it. Nice, flattened, little chicken breast. One thing that you are going to want to have, these are so handy. Thermometer. Check the temperature of your water. Personally, I'm going for 145 degrees. I'm going to do a sear on this afterwards, and will continue to cook after I pull it out of the sous vide, and it's going to continue to cook when I sear it. Perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. The trick is maintaining an even heat, so make sure to check your temperature regularly. This is going to go for about an hour. So I want you to come in every 10-15 minutes and check your temp, because if it gets too high, we're in trouble. If it falls too low, we're also in trouble. I've just got your standard generic zip top bag. I'm going to throw this little guy in there. Make sure he's nice and flat. Perfect. Kind of press out some of the air. Zip him up. It's bath time. That's it. Set and forget. Check your temperature every few minutes, and you're good. Once this is done, we're going to throw them on this hot, hot, hot skillet. Once we've got our sauce, which you'll see that coming up next, doing its thing, and you're good to go. I've got 3 more to do, and you'll see it when we're done. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Sauce is coming up next. See you soon. Hey everybody. Look at this beautiful, beautiful chicken. completely cooked, but it's not seared, it's not crispy, anything like that. That's why we're going to do a reverse sear on it. To get a little bit of like crispy crunchy on it, but it's perfectly cooked, perfectly spiced. We did use the Kickazz spice on it, as you saw earlier. Oh, absolutely delicious. I'm going to let it rest for a little bit. And while that is resting, before I do my reverse sear on it, I'm going to prepare our sauce. You can see here, I've got 3 different mushrooms. Well, I mean, it's the same mushroom, but 3 different sizes. There's a reason for this. I'm going to take these 2, and I'm going to slice them up. Just quartered. This little guy is going to come with some of these peppers I've got, yellow and red bell peppers. I'm going to take half of each, and I'm going to just do a quick rough chop. I'm going to take half of each, do a quick rough chop. They're going into the food processor. Real rough, just as quick as you can possibly do it. It really doesn't matter because we're putting it into a food processor. We just want to give it a couple little cuts to evenly distribute it around the food processor. See, you know, sometimes it doesn't go all the way through. Remember, sharpen your knives, people. Just quick, rough chop. You can even just tear it with your fingers. Doesn't really matter. It's not going to make that much of a difference. I'm going to take this tiny little mushroom and do the same thing with it. Just give him a few good little whacks here. Doesn't really matter because he's going in the processor anyways. And you can just mix that up together because, well, once again, it's all going to the same place. Now, I have 10 pieces of bacon. What I'm going to do is take 5 of them and just kind of rip them up. No need to really pay too much attention to what you're doing here. Just kind of rip them up. Doesn't really matter, you know. Put it in a pile. That's all going into our little KitchenAid mixer here. Well, it's a mixer, food processor, whatever. It cuts stuff up. That's what it does. That's what we want. So we're just going to throw this in there. Cool. All right. Little bits. Oh, yay. These things are a notorious pain in the butt, let me tell you. And just pulse it. Now we've got some kind of weird bacony, peppery, mushroomy paste. We want that. Why? Because I've got these other mushrooms, I've got these other peppers. These mushrooms and these peppers are going to be sauteed in the aforementioned Kickazz Eats spice flavored compound butter. Why would we do this? It gives us 2 different flavors and 2 different textures, even though we're using the same ingredient. And these were not very expensive either. This is another one of those dishes where you can feed 4 to 6 people for less than $20. Try this. You can leave them this way, nice big, or you can cut them in half. What I think I'm going to do here, and do this to taste. I'm not a big mushroom guy. I'm going to cut about half of them into little quarters. Nice, quick, simple. Okay, we're done. These are nice, beautiful peppers. I don't know if you know what a julienne is. Essentially, you cut them into nice, tiny, little itty-bitty strips. This is all going to be sauteed together. So, I'm just going to continue to cut these. Add my cream, which I'm just using Highland cheap brand heavy whipping cream. I got a quart for like $8. Super simple. That's the most expensive ingredient. I paid more for that cream than I did for the chicken. And, yeah. we're going to bring this to a simmer. I'm going to add some Belgioso Parmesan cheese, some salt, some pepper, and we're pretty much done. We'll be right back. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to crumble this bacon into the sauce.
What kind of bacon is it, Chef Hesh?
Oh, you know, this, a lot of people do like hardwood smoked, and they'll get, you know, applewood smoked bacon, and they pay a lot of money for that. This is actually cherrywood smoked bacon. I find that it has a milder but richer flavor. It doesn't just hit you out of the gate and negate the flavor of the bacon. You get the cherrywood smoke kind of flavor, but you still get the bacon flavor, and that's what I want. And so I'm doing this two ways, vegetables two ways. I mean, you just saw what we did here. Throw that in some cream. Use your compound butter, which I will show you how to make if you're interested. Tiny bit of Parmesan, salt, pepper, and use fresh ground black pepper. I've got those little rinky-dinky grinder things. Do it. You definitely want to use your Kickazz spice mix, which, as I said before, is coming soon. You'll be able to purchase it extremely cheap. A lot cheaper than a lot of other spice mixes that you can find at your local grocery store, which hopefully soon you'll be able to find that there. Yeah, I'm going to continue to cut these vegetables, and we'll be right back, and I'll show you how to put it all together and make some kick-ass sauce for our kick-ass chicken. We'll be right back. Once you have your vegetables prepped, which you just cut them up, I mean, however you want them, and then your bacon and your chicken and everything else is done. You've pulsed your bacon and peppers and mushrooms. The next thing to do is saute these. These we're going to leave raw. Why? Because we want two different textures in this sauce. So these are going to sit. I'm going to saute these first using the compound butter. Essentially, when I make a compound butter, I mix it up in a bowl, add, the herbs that I want, and wrap it, and freeze it. Then I can take a little bit out. Now, I have left this out a little bit longer than I wanted to on the counter. Sorry about that. It looks a little pasty and weird. This filming stuff is tricky, so I left it out a little bit longer than anticipated. But I'm going to take some and throw it into a hot skillet. I'm not going to wait. This skillet is so hot, I have to dump these in right away. So that's what we're doing here. We do not want to brown this butter. We're using this butter for flavor and for lubrication. You want to make sure you've got enough butter in there to essentially like sweat out, wilt down the mushrooms. Make sure that the peppers are still a little bit toothy, but not too much, because we're going to add our raw ingredient in a little while once we add our cream. Yeah, well, that was in my way. That's essentially it. Once we get the cream in there and everything is starting to come to a simmer and start to reduce, that's when we're going to add our crumbled bacon. And maybe, I'm not sure yet, our Parmesan cheese. Super simple. There's really not a lot to this. I obviously cooked the bacon ahead of time, but that takes 5 minutes. Like, who doesn't want to do that? I mean, it's bacon, I'm going to take a little bit more of our compound butter, come over here and add it just to make sure that we're all right. I'm also going to make sure that we add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. You have to flavor every ingredient. If it doesn't taste good by itself, it's not going to taste good with anything else. So, yeah, let's make this happen. A little bit more butter, a little bit more time. That's all we need. We're just going to sweat these things down. cook them in this butter, saute them. You know, there's lots of different terms for the same thing. It's essentially just cooking. And we'll be good to go. That's what we want to do. We just want to make sure that these have some flavor. Okay, it's salt and pepper time. Most definitely. Look at that. Delicious. I've just got the old salt shaker. A little bit of salt. You've seen me have issues with the pepper shaker in the other videos. So I just bought a little rinky-dinky pepper grinder. Want it tastes better, and I'll get the amounts that I want without accidentally calling it salt. Let's add some. Because it's fresh ground pepper, the whole black peppercorn. Oh yeah, smells. Oh shoot! Right? Makes you sneeze. That's what the cartoons do, anyways. It actually does taste fresher and better, and I only paid $1 for that. So, hey, I mean, I can get quite a few recipes out of this, and fresher, better for $1. Buy it, you'll like it. Guarantee you. So, at this point, we're going to let these go. Our chicken will be completely rested by the time we're ready to create our sauce. A few more minutes, we're good to go. Yeah, you know what to do. We'll be right back. Once you have your mushrooms and peppers sauteed and looking gorgeous, next thing you want to do is add the rest of it. That's what we pulsed up earlier in our food processor. This is going to give us 2 different textures and flavors. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Let's bring it over, scoop it in, try to get as much in there as you possibly can. Just kind of wipe it out. It's one of the reasons why I use a silicone spatula. It's flexible. Give it a little stir, a quick mix. Now we don't want to saute these because we want the 2 different textures. And even though it's all the same thing, it's going to give us 2 different flavors because of the 2 different textures. Oh, that's going to be great. Once we've stirred in everything else that we need, oh, wait a minute, we're missing something, aren't we? Bacon. I'm just going to grab this up in my grubby little paws and crumble it in. Just drip and tear. Oh, one got away. Ha! Not for long, little sucker. And just get it in there. Nice and easy. Now, cream. I use about a quart at a time. That's what I have here. Once again, it's just a generic. Just take that and dump it right in. Oh man, that looks like a lot, doesn't it? Oh, it sure does. It's really not that much. What we're going to do is reduce this. And if we need a thickening agent, I will use Parmesan cheese. Some people would do like a cornstarch slurry or maybe add some flour, some classic roux. Parmesan cheese imparts flavor, whereas like cornstarch or a classic roux generally doesn't. But it also acts as a thickening agent, so if we need it, we'll use it. I still have some compound butter left, so as I taste and make sure that things are where I want them to be, if it gets too thick, I'm going to add some compound butter. More flavor, kind of thins it out, so to speak, and we're good. At this point, all that's left to do is make our sauce. I'm going to take this chicken over here. I'm going to give it a quick sear in my grill pan so we get some nice color lines on it, and that imparts flavor. And then plate it up. yeah, Chef Lynn is making a salad to throw on the side, and we've got some Hasselback potatoes. That I'm going to put some sauce on as well. I mean, you know we love our Hasselbacks. They're absolutely gorgeous. That's it. Yeah, we'll be back here in a couple minutes, and our sauce will be done. Just make sure to stir it, and if it gets too thick, add a little bit of your compound butter. If you don't know how to make that, once again, hit me in the comments below. I'll give you a recipe. I might do another short on how to make a compound butter, but there are many, many, many ways to make a compound butter. So it'll be very quick and short and well, whatever you like. Essentially, mix it with butter. There's your short right there. That's it. Let's get to cooking. I'll see you in a minute. Once you cook your sauce, and your chicken is deliciously brewing in your pan, it's time to plate up. Very simple. Put your chicken on the plate. Sauce it. I've got some salad here. I also have a Hasselback potato. We use a Ninja Foodie. You can use an oven. There's lots of different things that you can do here. In this instance, we decided to be lazy and use our Foodie. It happens very quickly. Pull one out. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Set them on your plate. At this point, it's time to sauce. We do have a little bit of salad that we're going to be having this evening. Oh, look at this. Give it a good stir. Get a good ladle. Oh, pour that right over your chicken. We've got the mushrooms, the bacon, the peppers. Oh, beautiful. Pour some over your potato. Oh, look at that. That looks like a lot of sauce because, well, it is a lot of sauce. That's how we like it here. I've got a little salad here that Chef Lynn prepared earlier. I'm going to add a little bit of salad to the side of this plate. And we're done. It's time to eat. Oh, delicious. I did add a little bit of salt and pepper to my sauce after I tasted it. I felt it needed it. I did actually add a little bit of Parmesan, just a little bit, but I love that stuff. So, of course I'm going to add it. Aside from that, we're done. Check out the photos, and I'll see you soon. Stay foodie.